Important terms. Dear student, it will be beneficial for you to become familiar with some simple terms and terminologies related to this chapter. Come, let us learn and understand them. Random experiments. In our day-to-day life, we perform many activities which have a fixed result no matter any number of times they are repeated. For example, given any triangle, without knowing the three angles, we can definitely say that the sum of measure of the angles is equal to 180 degree. We also perform many experimental activities where the result may not be the same when they are repeated under identical conditions as well. For example, when a coin is tossed, it may turn up a head or a tail, but we are not sure which one of these results will actually be obtained. Such experiments are called random experiments. An experiment is called random experiment if it satisfies the following two conditions. 1. It has more than one possible outcomes. 2. It is not possible to predict the outcome in advance. Outcomes and sample space. A possible result of a random experiment is called its outcome. Now consider the experiment of rolling a die. The outcomes of this experiment are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. The set of outcomes is called the sample space of the experiment. Sample space is denoted by the symbol S. Each element of the sample space is called a sample point. In other words, each outcome of the random experiment is also called sample point. Event. Consider the experiment of tossing a coin 2 times. An associated sample space is S equals HH, HT, TH and TT. Now suppose that we are interested in those outcomes which correspond to the occurrence of exactly one head. We find that HT and TH are the only elements of S corresponding to the occurrence of this happening. These two elements form the set E, HT, TH. We know that the set E is a subset of the sample space S. Similarly, we find the following correspondence between events and subsets of S. Description of events corresponding subset of S. Number of tails is exactly 2. If the number of tails is exactly 2, then A equals TT. If the number of tails is at least 1, then B equals HT, TH, TT. And if the number of heads is at most 1, then C contains HT, TH, TT. If second toss is not head, then HT, TT are the possible outcomes. If number of tails is at most 2, then the possible outcomes are HH, HT, TH, TT. And finally, if the number of tails is more than 2, then we get the null set because there are no possible ways of getting more than 2 tails. Any subset E of a sample space S is called an event. Occurrence of an event. Consider the experiment of throwing a die. Let E denotes the event. A number less than 4 appears. If actually 1 had appeared on the die, then we say that event E has occurred. As a matter of fact, if outcomes are 2 or 3, we say that event has occurred. Thus, the event E of a sample space S is said to have occurred if the outcome omega of the experiment is such that omega belongs to E. If the outcome omega is such that omega does not belong to E, we say that the event E has not occurred.